And, folks, people keep not hounding me, because I don't consider it to be hounding, but people keep asking me, Rush, what do you think? What do you do? What are you going to do? What do you make of all this? In fact, let me find a soundbite. I wasn't going to play this at the top, but it fits if I can just find it here. It's CNN. I think it's CNN trying to figure out what I think of. Yeah, here it is. Grab number 9. This is a piece on CNN. They're utterly confused. This ran last night on Anderson Cooper 360. And what they always say, folks, this is important. Left-wing America, the drive-by media, the Democrat Party, when talking about you or me or conservatives, always say that we're just a bunch of, among other things, simpletons, that we're too dense to understand intellectual nuance. Well, we're too dumb to understand any nuance. That you are mind-numbed robots, incapable of forming your own opinions and making up your own minds. So you tune here to find out what you should think, and you tune in here to find out what it is you don't know. And if you didn't do that, you would be blindly traversing the tundra and the countryside, thinking the blizzard was going to kill you today. So given how we know the left looks at us in terms of being simpleton and mind-numbed robots, listen to this report from Tom Foreman on CNN last night.
Trump has enjoyed oceans of praise on conservative radio.
The last 10 minutes of what Trump did last night sealed the deal. I mean, the sincerity, the appreciation for the audience.
But now that he's taking on his closest challenger, Tea Party favorite Ted Cruz, the tide is turning.
A genuine conservative, even in the Republican field, would not go after Cruz this way.
As the months passed and the battle with Cruz became inevitable, the conservative talkers sharpened their words. And the dean of conservative talk, Rush Limbaugh,
I think Trump is making a strategic error in the way he criticizes Cruz. But, folks, it's unrealistic to expect that they're not going to go after each other.
The conservative talkers will almost certainly hurt Trump if they keep hitting him this way. But if he looks like he can win the nomination and the White House, they could change their tune again. After all, they've been mad at the Democrats a whole lot longer.
What does all of this mean to you? They do not know what I think. They are curious. They are confused. The dean of talk radio, is he for Trump or is he against him? They can't figure it out. Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you of a phone call we got yesterday toward the end of the program, 28-year-old young man. And, yeah, we're going to get to the National Review stuff because I've got Rich Lowry and these guys all on TV. We'll react to it as you're hearing their words. But I don't think what's happening here in that regard is complicated. I think this is easily explainable because we are literally going through things here that in many ways are unprecedented. And there are challenges for people that challenges they haven't had to make. And it's causing much consternation and confusion. Lifetimes, careers are being questioned, the relevance, the importance, by virtue of this Republican campaign. I think what's happening is so big, is so momentous, it's impossible to predict exactly where it's going or what the end result is going to be. But it is exciting. This is thrill-packed. And what is happening here has the potential to be huge no matter the result. It has the potential to accomplish what so many of you for the last 25 years have called here and said you thought the Republican Party was going to do. There are genuine opportunities for massive upheaval and change here, with more than just one outcome. I myself am still analyzing it. I'm still trying to figure out what everything that happens means. I'm analyzing why certain people are supporting certain candidates, why certain people are not. What is it about certain candidates that's attracting all of this support? What is the appeal? I'm still analyzing it and trying to figure it out. And I'm having a ball doing it, by the way. It is a fun challenge to have. And I don't want to kill off any of it yet. May I be honest with you? I don't want to kill off anything that's happening right here. It's too big. It's too momentous. It's larger than any one of us. It's larger than any one organization, ideology, publication, whatever. What's happening here is so huge, I don't want to kill off any of it. I want to let things take place and let the natural ebb and flow of the process be the determining factor of what happens here. Mr. Limbaugh, are you so stuck on your something? You think this is Mr. New Castrati out there asking me a question. You think you're so big you can destroy something? Well, let's just say that I don't want to chance it. Now, let me go back to this guy that called yesterday, toward the end of the program, 28 years old, millennial. He said, and we were at the time, there was a discussion, as it is every day here, people calling why they like Trump, why they don't, why they like Cruz, why they don't, Rubio, you name it, people trying to explain to me, even going so far as trying to tell me why I like Trump. I mean, everybody's playing this analysis game. And this guy calls and says something that I hadn't heard said in this fashion. He said, Rush, I'm 28 years old. And what you need to understand is the way people my age and in my circle are looking at all of this. The first thing he said was, let's look at the two parties. The Democrat Party, I'm going to use his words here. He said the Democrat Party has become the party of the fringe, the fringes in America. And without my prompting, he defined what he meant. And he spelled out verbatim the Democrat Party coalition. And to him, a 28-year-old millennial, they are the fringe. The LGBT crowd, the gay marriage crowd, the civil rights coalitions, the militant feminism, the rape culture on campus crowd, the everybody trying to make everybody politically correct, the denial of the First Amendment, limits on free speech, putting photographers and pizza owners in jail if they don't do a cake or take pictures or bake a pizza for a gay wedding. Put them in jail. That's the Democrat Party, and that's the party of the fringe. He said the Republican Party is the party of white people. But what he meant was the party of middle America. He's talking about the party. They're not fringe. They're standard. They are, in his words, well, my words actually defining what he meant. He was not speaking racistly or racially in this. He was defining who the various constituent groups are for the political parties. Democrats are the fringe, and he said the Republican Party represents the white people of America. White men. He said basically white men. But here's the key to it. He said the Democrat Party is free to openly promote and advocate for all of their fringe groups, and the Republican Party is not. The Republican Party cannot say or do one thing to benefit their constituents because they're going to get called out as racists and bigots and whatever, so they have to stand mute. The Republican Party can't say anything positive or pro. It can't come up with any policies. It can't introduce any legislation that advances its primary constituency group because right now, at this point in time in American history, they are considered the problem. White men are the majority, the dominant majority. They are ones that got the country in trouble. They're the ones that have been racist, bigots, sexist, homophobes. The Democrat Party thinks it's perfectly legitimate. Go after them. The Republican Party is their political representative, but they can't defend them. So he said the two parties don't do a thing for us. The two parties have a paralyzing fight. One party that we might want to join can't do anything for us. The other party that we don't want to join is engaging in all this fringe stuff that's resulting in the rot and the destruction of our culture. And in the middle of all this, here comes Donald Trump. And he said, what you need to understand, Mr. Limbaugh, is that it isn't about Donald Trump. It's what Trump is and what Trump represents. And that is a totally new way that cannot be tied to either of the two political parties, which, frankly, Mr. Limbaugh, we don't like. There's nothing for us there. Now, he's talking about, he was not assuming that he's speaking for every millennial or every 28-year-old. He was talking about, don't know how many people, but I think it's a sizable number. And his point about Trump was, you keep talking about how Trump survives all these crazy things he says. Mr. Limbaugh, it isn't about any of that. Trump could say, do anything. It ain't going to hurt him because it isn't about him. It's about the fact that he represents to us a new way, a different direction, an ability to be honest about what you believe the problems are, an ability to be honest about your opponents, an ability to be honest about the people you think are responsible for making the mess. His point was, we can't even do that the way the politics of the country is structured today. You can't truthfully, honestly criticize. You're shut down by one side or the other. And for the most part, the left never gets shut down. They get amplified and promoted. And the opposition, I mean, if you wanted to join the Republican Party, to what end? Why would you? You're going to have a party that can't represent you. You're going to have a party that can't promote things for you because they're going to be tarred and feathered if they try. So Trump is the new way. Guy was saying that his group hates this current structure, the way American politics is working right now, and he thinks it's doomed to consign the country to the triumph of the fringes. And by definition, fringes do not triumph. By definition, fringes are not the majority. And so we want our shot at success. We want our shot at the American dream. And neither of the two political parties seems the slightest bit interested in any of that. They've both got theirs in terms of things that give them power today. And they don't want to take any risks whatsoever. I was utterly fascinated by it. I've been thinking about it, putting it in the mix with everything else that's happening out there as I try. And I really am. Without prejudice and about name-calling, I'm trying to figure out exactly what's happening because it is momentous. I've got to take a break here because of the constraints of time and the programming format, but hang in to be tough. We'll be right back. Don't go away.